This is a CBS2 News update. I'm Mary Calvi. We're hundreds of miles away from the fierce wind and rain from Hurricane Florence, but we'll still be feeling at least one effect from this. It's causing strong.
Oh, keep reading, Mary.
The National Weather Service is reporting surf heights in New York building up 6 to 10 feet. The Jersey Shore also seeing those dangerous conditions yesterday. The Atlantic City Beach Patrol made the ocean off limits.
It came up a lot rougher and a lot quicker than we anticipated today. We thought we might have a little bit of a clean day. It doesn't, absolutely not.
I won't repeat the words precisely, but please may I ask you to get off the beach? Pretty please.
According to the National Weather Service, large breaking waves will result in widespread beach erosion with possible minor damage to the base of dune structures. Video from North Carolina shows the area being pounded with wind, rain, and flooding. The worst of the storm is still yet to come and is expected to hover over the region through the weekend. Florence is weakened to a Category 1, but is still packing winds of 90 miles per hour. Power companies in North Carolina say millions could be impacted by power outages. Stay with CBS2 for continuing coverage of Hurricane Florence. We'll have updates throughout the day on CBSNewYork.com. And now let's get to John Elliott with a look at how Hurricane Florence is moving into our area and the forecast for the weekend.
Yeah, I tell you, we're getting some new numbers in these. Our computers are such that they'll auto-import these data. Now, one thing as we look back over the last few hours, peak gusts earlier this morning, Cape Fear, 100 miles an hour. I tell you what, you've got Federal Point, 99 miles an hour. Some of these are records, and these may change, too, as we look back forensically. Wilmington, North Carolina, so far, that's a new record for them, 91 miles an hour. Cape Lookout at 90. Yeah, we've had these big numbers. Right now, we're okay. We have the wave action and the wave energy. But as we zoom in, you can see still a very well-defined storm and covering, much of North Carolina. From south to north, you've got rain, the brighter colors indicating the heavy rain, the red box indicating that active tornado watch, isolated warnings. There's the eye right there, south and west of Wilmington. So these are the new numbers, Mary. Right now, we have winds at about 80 miles an hour. It's moving very slowly off to the west, hanging on to that Category 1 status, anything above 74 miles an hour. Look how long it takes to get out of North Carolina. Our concern is next, maybe Tuesday, where we see the possibility of some remnants. Now, that would be the rain. Obviously, we've been talking about the waves, serious situation there. We'll see a little bit of rain out of this, but nothing like the locally over 30 inches of rain they're going to be dealing with in parts of North Carolina. Our weather, in contrast, till then, after a gray one today, we're looking bright and nice Saturday into Sunday. Sunday probably the nicest of the next few. Mary?
John, thank you. Now to Campaign 2018, a record turnout for yesterday's primary, double what it was 4 years ago, and history in the making in New York. CBS 2's Janelle Worrell has more on the results.
Cheers of victory from Cuomo supporters as the final numbers rolled in. The governor pulling off a decisive win with 66% of the vote, beating out actress and political novice Cynthia Nixon, who spoke to supporters after conceding the race.
He took nothing for granted in this race, and when others were underestimating us, he did not. And he spent accordingly. I'm so proud of what we've done.
Cuomo did not talk publicly after the win. His campaign chair spoke on his behalf.
It's a great night for the governor, but it's also a great night for Democrats.
There was history in the race for state attorney general.
We did it!
New York City public advocate Letitia James becoming the first black woman to win a major party statewide nomination in New York. James earning 41% of the vote.
I'm going to continue to be the people's lawyer.
In the race for lieutenant governor, incumbent Kathy Hochul holding on to win against New York City Councilman Jumaane Williams, beating him by 6 points. Williams tweeting supporters early this morning, saying in part, "I thank you all. I so appreciate each and every volunteer, staffer, and voter." There were some notable upsets as well. Longtime state senator Jeff Kline of the Bronx was ousted along with 5 other senators who are part of the group of New York Democratic senators that typically collaborated with state Republicans. Only Senators Diane Savino of Staten Island and David Carlucci of Rockland County were able to hold on to their seats.
The body of a missing construction worker has been recovered in Brooklyn. Crews combed through the rubble for a second day after a retaining wall collapsed Wednesday at the worksite in Sunset Park. Investigators say 47-year-old Luis Almonte died after being buried under a pile of mud and debris. Rain forced crews to call off the search on Wednesday. The cause of the collapse is under investigation. And happening now, a promotion ceremony for 91 FDNY officers in Brooklyn. Of that group, 2 brothers are being promoted who have special inspiration for joining the FDNY. Sean and William Heron lost their brother Charlie during the attacks on September 11th. He was William's twin. Charlie was 23 years old and working at Cantor Fitzgerald. The Heron brothers say the death of William inspired them to join the force after that day. He's not their only inspiration. Their dad was also a firefighter. And now to a CBS2 exclusive. A look inside a rundown hospital campus in Brooklyn being turned into a new complex with affordable housing. Greenpoint Hospital closed 36 years ago. The campus is on nearly 3.5 acres of prime property. One building is a homeless shelter, but most are empty. Now the city says they'll be used to create more than 500 affordable units.
We're talking the types of homes that are affordable to family of 3, for instance, making about $28,000 to a family of 3 making about $75,000. That's a big dent.
The former nurses' quarters will become a new homeless shelter. There will also be open-space retail and medical facilities. The plan still needs approval by the local community board and the city council. Well, some doctors are now analyzing baby teeth as they search for the cause of autism. Scientists have discovered a new test that could predict if a child will develop the disorder. By drilling tiny holes through the baby's teeth, they can determine how children metabolize metals like copper and zinc. An imbalance in this process has been linked to autism. Experts say that early detection and intervention make a big difference in an autistic child's eventual functioning. It is back to school for a group of senior citizens in New Jersey. They're helping kindergartners learn the ABCs, and as CBS2's Allie Bauman found out, the volunteers are learning a few lessons of their own.
What did we say these are? Cows.
There's an 80-year age gap between the kindergarteners at Freehold's Public Elementary School and their classroom volunteers.
Today they wanted to know how come my hair was white. I mean, you get all kinds of questions.
The Tools for School program, at the start of its second full year here, buses senior citizens in from the nearby Applewood retirement community once a week.
We were significantly overcrowded, but we were also underfunded, so we didn't have all the support teachers that we should have, and the volunteers have allowed us to provide that support.
Helping us with teaching letters in the alphabet.
There are 8 regular volunteers this year, 2 more than last.
I'm going to be 88 in December.
You feel like it keeps you young?
I hope so.
Somebody said, you always come back smiling. I said, how can you not smile at a 5-year-old?
Of the 600 students at this elementary school, 80% are living in poverty. And for about a fifth of the students, English is their second language.
It actually really helps with their confidence.
The better that we do in kindergarten and first grade, that shows up right away in the testable subjects.
Just ask some of the first graders who were part of the program last year.
The hardest thing I did was read books.
Yeah, and did the volunteers help you?
Yes.
But after only a few minutes around these desks,
I'm going to do my eat.
It's hard to say which generation is benefiting the most.
I have very little that I feel responsible for anymore. So now I'm very responsible for this hour and a half that I spend with these children every week.
And suddenly, an 80-year age gap doesn't feel so different after all. From Freehold, New Jersey, Allie Bauman, CBS 2 News.
And that's your CBS 2 News update. I'm Mary Calvi. Have a great day.